So it's going to be really cool because we're first starting the invasion to take out Darnassus, and anytime you get to kill a night elf, it's awesome.
Sure.
That's a lot of information.
It is a lot of information. All right, so in anticipation for the next expansion for World of Warcraft, we're going to talk a lot about World of Warcraft in this segment. Most of it's going to be like a Q&A because I have lots of knowledge about World of Warcraft and the other two don't know anything about it.
Right?
One thinks it's like Fortnite and She-Ra, which I don't get the
Totally
analogy, but...
like they had a baby.
I can say I played up to level 5 once.
Wow, you didn't even make it out of the starting zone.
No, I did not make it out of the starting zone.
Wow.
But I know a little bit.
Horde or Alliance?
What's that?
What race was it?
I don't remember, man.
Oh my God,
It was like 3 years ago, and I put like 2 or 3 hours into it. I played
That's
MMOs
not bad.
before. I played a year of Final Fantasy 11. That's the ones I put the most time into in my life. And I dabbled in ESO and Final Fantasy 15 also. Just dabbled, just a little bit. Oh, in Neverwinter. I mean, I played, 5-10 hours in Neverwinter.
Yeah,
go
sometimes,
ahead. Go
I
on.
don't always count Neverwinter as an MMO in certain ways. It's more D&D based than World of Warcraft. I mean, World of Warcraft does get its roots from Dungeons and Dragons. Just the basis of the whole game is sort of like that. But I mean, honestly, it's basically taking, if you played any of the old RTSs, the real-time strategy games of Orcs versus Humans, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, World of Warcraft is, what it did is in Warcraft 3, they start getting 3D modeling and all that. So World of Warcraft brought the camera from top down to almost
Right.
first person. You could bring it in, you can scroll in and be first person, but it's weird. It's more fun to
Sure.
see your avatar.
I actually
And-
have Warcraft 3 up on the shelf.
See, and so Warcraft 3, if you played through that campaign enough where where you get in with Jaina Proudmoore and Arthas, who was the paladin that was fighting Sylvanas, the Banshee Queen, that Warcraft 3 actually is sort of the lead into World of Warcraft in a way when you get into one of the expansions, The Wrath of the Lich King.
Nice. I got to say, I put the most time into 2. But anyways, we're
Two is
digressing.
cool.
So
No, that's cool. No, that's
what's
cool.
going on with the
mean-
with the new expansion? And I noticed you saying tonight. So you streamed in the past Sunday night stream, and you were talking about like they've actually changed it pre-expansion. Like, is there like an in-between story going on right now?
There is. They're doing lately. I think it started with Cataclysm. They started doing these pre-launch events, and 3 to 4 weeks leading up to the expansion release. Now the expansion drops on the 13th on a Monday at like 5 o'clock Eastern time, which is really
Okay.
weird because usually expansions they drop at midnight and on Tuesday morning. So it's kind of weird, but they're launching it early. And with the pre-launch events, what they're doing is they're setting up the story because they're getting rid of 2 major capital cities in this expansion. They're getting rid of Darnassus, which is the Night Elf starting city, and their capital city. And so the Horde are coming up into an area called Darkshore, and they're doing a 2-pronged attack. They're coming in from Felwood, which is over to the east, and then they came up through Ashenvale. We took out this small town. One of the missions, you go in as an assassin, and you poison guards, and you can kill civilians. But it's awesome because the writing they did was really good. Just a lot of the dialogue. You're with this other assassin. You sit there and mark a civilian for death, and he's like, "Oh, I normally don't kill civilians, but I like your style." And
Nice.
so it's really cool. And you invade up from the south, and then there's a lot of cutscenes with the druid that's in charge of the Night Elves. His name's Malfurion. And then you have Lady Sylvanas, who's the Banshee Queen, and she's trying to just eradicate the Night Elves. She basically says, let's do genocide on these fucks. and just roll through the forest. And so this first one is you push into the Darkshore area, and with the expansion they're bringing back World PvP, because in the past the servers, there was multiple different servers. There was a normal server, which is just player versus environment, PvE. You had PvP servers where you were flagged for PvP out in the real world whenever you were out, just like it would be normal in any type of war situation. So you would get ganked. You get ganked by level 60s at the time when level cap is 60. You know, the high level guys would always come and find the lobies that are questing, trying to level up and kill them. It was just part of the game. They'd camp you for a while, but if you play EVE enough, you're used to being camped, and you can be camped for days. So they don't have that big of attention span. but
it's there.
But it's there, and then they have some role-playing servers. And so what they've done is they've changed all the servers to normal, except for a few of the role-playing servers. But now you can flag yourself for PvP, and what it does is it gives you a boost of 10% experience points when you're out fighting. And if you can kill 10 players without dying, you get a boost of 15% experience points. So it's sort of, it pays you to be active in PvP and engage on people, and you get honor points, and you can use those to spend and level up, and you can spend to buy good gear on the PvP side. So for a long time that had been dead because everyone would just hide in these sanctuary cities and jump around if they weren't questing for some reason. They just dance parties and stuff like that.
Sure, of course.
On the other side, on the Alliance side, what the Alliance is going to do is they're going to invade over into the Undercity, which is where the undead and Lady Sylvanas has her capital. And the Undercity sits underneath these ruins of Lordaeron that was an Alliance stronghold. But if you played through Warcraft 3 and the expansion, the Lich King expansion, I can't remember the name of it, that's when Arthas becomes the Lich King, and he destroys Lordaeron pretty much, and betrays his family, and goes up in the Frozen North and rules the undead on that side. So the Alliance is gonna come in and take out the Undercity. So it's gonna be really cool because we're first starting the invasion to take out Darnassus, and anytime you get to kill a Night Elf, it's awesome.
Sure.
That's a lot of information.
It is a lot of information. So they do that pre-launch, and then with the expansion, when it finally launches, they've expanded the map again, added new zones, and so you're going to quest, and the level cap is moved to 120.
Right.
So you can do anything. I mean, I couldn't show everything on the stream. I showed PvP, which is the most exciting, but all the crafting that they have is pretty involved now. It takes a while to get through if you want to do any of the crafting professions, build your own armor, weapons, make potions, you can be a tailor, you can make shirts and cloth.
Would you recommend, because I know my computer could run it, if I had no intention of ever paying a dime, and say if the four of us got online and just played to level 20, you can play for free, would that even be worth it? I wouldn't even touch any of this expansion stuff, would I? Or would the PvP and all that kind of be included at that point?
No, you have to mark yourself for PvP.
Right.
So,
but I'd be able to?
I don't know if you can turn PvP on until level 20 or not.
Yeah. So do you think it'd be worth it to play that at all, or do you think that's pointless?
It's definitely worth it to play the game, to experience 1 to 20.
Yeah.
And they'll get you, because 20 is when you get your riding mount finally. Because before that, you walk everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's a big place. It's massive. No,
What's the gameplay like in comparison to, say, something like Neverwinter?
It was well before Neverwinter, so Neverwinter sort of emulates that.
Is it similar, or is it really drastically different?
It's similar to the questing, how you go talk to NPCs, they give you a quest, you go out and kill kill 10 frenzied fire blogs,
Yeah.
furbolgs. Go collect, 10 of this gem, or go out there and do this. So it's similar. You go out, do that, and come back and turn it back in. World of Warcraft has really changed it up, where now they've made it easier to progress zone to zone, so you don't have to go get 2 quests, go out, do that, run back, get 2 more quests in the same fucking area you were just at. They streamlined it. So everything you see in Neverwinter that shows you, gives you the arrow where to go for your quest, that's already, World of Warcraft has been doing that. And they allow player add-ons, so players can build these apps that you can add on, and it does stuff like, if you want to track all the mining nodes in each zone, you can do that. If you want it to have special timers and screen flash when something happens, you can have those added on. It's just multitudes of player interaction over the years.
Cool.
All right, well, you'll have to give us a report once it launches. What is it again? Battle for Azeroth?
Yep, Battle for Azeroth.
All right, yeah. Once it's out, you'll have to give us the opinions.
And that's why, for the Horde, well, if I didn't show it, if I played my undead character, I have an undead priest, which is awesome because he goes in a shadow form. If he kills a human, what you can do is you can go up to the human and cannibalize and eat the human to regain health.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That's pleasant.
It's awesome.
Yeah, totally. All right, cool. Well, thanks, Jeff, for
Thanks,
dropping the
Jeff.
knowledge.
Woo.